Hello once again. You are watching the Rainbow in Bloom channel, all about scleroderma, living with scleroderma, surviving scleroderma, lupus, mixed connective tissue disease. And I'm here today to talk about some tips and tricks that I learned in dealing with this cold weather. It's January and it's about 30 degrees today. And you know, if you have scleroderma, you probably have neuropathy in your feet, you got Raynaud's, and you're probably getting those ulcers. I used to get these horrible ulcers on the tips of my fingers, right at the tip of the finger, and it would be like so painful. If I touched anything, I wanted to kill somebody. And you know, it's like it starts off a little bit and then it gets bigger, like the fluid under it, and then you know it turns colors, it turns green, it turns yellow, and then it would show up over here, and you know I'd have like these yellow cuticles, and then it dries and you have the hard thing, and you would think, oh, that should be much better, but even that hard little patch that forms after it dries is utterly agonizing to touch. So I did go through that for many years. So I had to learn how to adjust. I remember the first time I realized something was definitely wrong. You know, of course my skin's color started changing, and you know, I started getting very lethargic, even though I was a very active person socially. When I started to stay home more, my friends were like, "You're in the house? What's going on with you?" And I was just saying, "I'm really tired." But the first time I really saw that there was definitely something seriously wrong, my ears were white. I lost like all of the color in my ears. And I was doing a photo shoot for an artist outside in New York, and it was frigid, and we wore these coats, and you know everybody was cold, but me, I couldn't feel my feet anymore, and my hands. And when I went to walk to the train gingerly, because I could barely feel my feet, I saw my fingers and they were pitch black, like my fingers were just black, and I had never seen that before. I never experienced anything like that before in my life. So I was like, oh my gosh, something's definitely wrong. So, you know, you adjust and you learn how to deal with things like that. So, what I wanted to tell you a little about this time is things you can do to keep your feet warm that you might not have thought about, and deal with the pain. Like if you're having, you know, the ulcers, deal with the pain from that and keeping your hands warm. And also, another little beauty trick to keeping the skin as moist as possible, because you probably get the sort of almost like eczema, patchy skin, scaly skin. But first, let me talk about socks, because I had to get a ton of socks because my feet were always cold. They always tingle because of the neuropathy, but it's also obviously really easy to get cold. Like they stay cold even in the summer. My feet are cold. So I have lots of socks and they have to be really thick. But my favorite one that I got these at Cabela's. You know, you get heated socks at Cabela's, and probably different places too, but Cabela's is a chain of like outdoor supply stores for fishers and hunt, you know, people who hunt, cold weather store. So, you know, these socks, it's a Cabela brand. They sell other brands, but it's a Cabela brand. It has like this coil here to keep the toes warm underneath. And then it has a little pocket for your battery, but I have to tell you, I wouldn't recommend this one because this is supposed to take a D battery, but it's the little pocket is not big enough. So this is supposed to touch the top of the battery, and then you flip it over, right? Like, so this touches the top, and you flip it over, and it's supposed to pin here. But the battery is too big, so I would have to use like a elastic to keep it in place. But it does work if you get one with the, you know, this is the Cabela brand, but If you get one that has the proper size, it will actually work, and it does work, and it's so thick. Now I just wear them without the battery and around the house. So that's one. And then I got these there also. These are very thick. These are for people who like fish. They go ice fishing. They do all that stuff in the woods. And so they in the cold, so they're out there for hours and they think that's fun and good for them. God bless them. But it's really, they're really warm. They're very thick, and it's made so that underneath, you know, like, because, you know, if they're out there and their foot is touching the ground, so it's like a little thick so that, it, you know, it's a little insulated. And they're really long, and it's thick, like really thick, good socks. And I would wear a thin pair underneath, just because, you know, for extra protection from the cold, because really the cold is in you more than outside. So all the help you can get, the better. And then from all my trips to the hospital, I have a lot of these, and you can actually, you know, buy them, Amazon them, but they have the anti-skid at the bottom, and that's for walking around the house too. And you know, you may have issues since, you know, if you have neuropathy, then you might be a fall risk. And this is good if you have pain in your toes and you can't wear slippers like me for a while. This is good to wear around the house, and I would double them up and, you know, prevent myself from skidding from, this, you know, this side is slick like a regular sock. So those are the 3 socks that are my favorite to wear, to, you know, for security and warmth. And so as far as, you know, what you would do to, you know, help yourself with the scaly skin, my dermatologist recommended Cetaphil cream. And creams are better than lotion because lotion has more water, so they don't like sit in the skin as much. But the creams really stay on. It really does help. So that's what I would recommend. It works for me. You just have to, like, for me, I have to put it on often. So, like every day, put on a little, or I turn into, you don't even want to know what my skin looks like otherwise. And as far as, oh, the hands, for Raynaud's, there are heated gloves, just like there are heated socks. There are heated gloves for hunters. And some of them are even described as helpful for people with specifically scleroderma. So I don't remember a brand yet, but maybe I'll tell you another time. But you can get the $200 ones, or you can get ones for like $40. My pair that I don't use anymore, but you could blow into it. Like, it had a little pocket, and you blow into it, and the warmth from your breath keeps the inside of the glove warm. And it lasts. It really lasts a long time. And anytime it wears off, you just blow some more. So I would recommend that. And I think that one was like $40 somewhere. I'll look it up and tell you another time. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was makeup. When you have these conditions that they call it cosmetic deformity, and I'm going to try to insert a picture of myself from a few years back when it was really bad, especially. But the white patches I would have, makeup doesn't really cover it. I found that makeup actually made it worse. So, you know, it's kind of like something you just have to learn to live with. Because if you put on makeup, it just somehow draws more attention to the especially if you have dark skin. It shows the vast difference in color. It kind of brings it out, no matter what I did. Even if I bought like heavy MAC makeup, like for the Studio Fix stuff, people on TV, it still looks like a mask and that I was covering something, and it wasn't attractive at all. So I really didn't use makeup much. Right now I'm wearing some powder. My skin is evened out a lot. I just have like a lot of, like this, I have the halo. It goes all around. And it was very, very patchy before. It's kind of evened up a little bit in my hands. And I had surgery here to fix my tendon, because you know scleroderma is also an arthritic condition. So when I was in the hospital with cancer, I lost the ability to control this finger because the tendon slipped or something. So they had to fix it. And you know, like when you see old people and their fingers kind of go to the side, it's kind of like what mine have been. They migrate. So the doctor just fixed all of these tendons so it can stay in place. And I had therapy, and it's actually pretty good. This is old. This is from my healthy days. But yeah, so I still have some of the color going on with my hands, but otherwise everything, you know, things have gotten a lot better for me. And I hope you can see from my experience that, you know, you just have to really keep focused beyond what you're going through. I mean, you have to deal with your daily reality, but know that there's more. This is not over yet. I know I was terrified because Black women we get this disease scleroderma earlier. We get the more severe diffuse kind. And I know last video I said I have the systemic kind, of meant diffuse. It's everywhere. And Black women die more often than, you know, than other groups. I guess it's related to melanin. I don't know. But that's the statistics. That's just the fact. And that's something that I had to think about in the early years. Like, you know, I mean, they talk about it almost like it's inevitable. But the truth is that there's no telling what someone's outcome can be. And that's what you have going for you. Even though you feel in a moment like you might not want to get up, you know, like you don't even want to be bothered because of the constant pain, and it's so unpredictable. You don't know what one day to the next is going to be. I remember those good days when you have that one good day and you forget you're sick and you start doing all this stuff. You start acting like normal, and you got to pay for like the next 2-3 weeks or a month for that one good day. So that's just the way it is. But it's really important to just stay focused and set little milestones for yourself. Maybe, you know, you took a shower this week, you know, that's huge when you're in constant pain and you don't want to go anywhere, you can barely get out of bed, and you have balance issues. Being able to take a shower is a very big deal. So give yourself credit for every little thing that you can do. And I really want to do a video for people who take care of people who have disabilities, severe disabilities. But I'll save that for another time. I just wanted to make a quick video about staying warm in the hands and feet, especially in the cold weather. And I hope that that was helpful. Hope you got a couple ideas. These socks are like beyond the regular socks, so I'm like very excited to have them because they saved me. So I would highly recommend investing in a couple of those kinds of things, and just stay positive and, you know, keep focused on the good in life. There's a lot to live for. It may not feel like it, but it's definitely true. And I wanted to do videos that are different than the others out here on YouTube, that, you know, you see a lot of like sad stories and you know, the doctors and things like that, but I want you to know that there's more to it than that. And you know, miracles happen every day. With God, all things are possible. And I am living proof that all things are possible. I'm someone who died and came back to life. So, you know, if you need a little inspiration, something, you know, a little uplifting to think about, you know, me. You can think about me. I was there. I was struggling to walk down the street. You know, I remember feeling like I was gonna pass out. My body couldn't produce enough energy, and I'd be walking across, you know, like 6th Avenue or something in Manhattan, praying that I didn't pass out and some cabbie would run over me because I couldn't make it across the street. So I know, okay? And I just want you to not give up, all right? Thank you for watching, and till next time.